I recently took a tour of KFI in Los Angeles, and the transmitter site itself is in La Mirada, and the studios are up in Burbank. But I was able to meet my friend Doug Irwin. He's the chief engineer for KFI, there at the site in La Mirada, and got a tour. Now, KFI is a very historic station, just like others around the country, but there's a lot of history. And there's actually a video out there with one of the previous engineers, and I'll link to that in the description so you can kind of get to see that as well and see some of the history of the station. But that's not what today's video is. Today's video is how the site is today and what they're doing to make it better for tomorrow.
Tower dates from 2008. Of course, it's the replacement one from the one that was knocked down in 2004. And I wasn't working here at the time, but I do know that when they were putting this one up, it fell over. It had a failed guy anchor or something. Not a guy anchor, but I think it was the, it had a mechanical failure.
Yeah.
And it fell over. Unfortunately, it was only up about 330 feet or something like that. No one got hurt or killed, fortunately. So, yeah, it's been quite a lot of effort to keep it up there. And then our other one, let's go over here. This tower got pulled over by a truck that, well, this is what we think happening. We're not really sure. Got pulled over. There used to be, this is a big warehouse over here, and there used to be a trucking firm that, was really busy, and they had all kinds of the diesel locomotives, all the trucks. And the various 18-wheelers were over there. Anyway, we think one of them drove up on the curb to try to get around somebody else and hooked one of the guy wires and just basically yanked the tower over. It was like a Friday night at 10 o'clock or something like that. And I was not made aware of it till the next morning. And of course, I drove down here and found the mess. Anyway, it took Vertical Bridge quite a long time to get it repaired, but they did a really nice job. And also the guy anchors have been moved up by 6 feet now. The idea being that, of course, it gives a little bit more space for anybody. So hopefully no one will do that again.
Hopefully.
And then the trucking company that used to be there is no longer there. I don't know what happened to them. If they just moved or they, who knows what happened to them.
Their insurance went,
that's what I was going to say, but I didn't say it. If you look at the building, of course, we got the two grid dishes up there. One of them is a 10-footer that points back to Briarcrest. The other one's an 8-footer that points up to Pleasance Peak. So that one brings down, that's another duplex circuit. So we're sending audio up to Pleasance Peak from here. It's actually the KLAC STL actually goes up Dog Lake from here. Actually goes up to Pleasance Peak and then shoots back down to East LA where KLAC is. So it's a real long way around, but it works fine. And they didn't have anything, so it's 4 hops actually.
What I think is amazing though is just a little detail artwork, on the...
Well, yeah, well check this out on this side. So, over here, we got these shelves with insulators on, right? And we've always said, well, what is that? And all I can think of is that was the original antenna feed when they had one of those big, what do they refer to them now as?
Open wire.
There's an open wire feed, but a hammock. That's right,
Oh,
a hammock antenna. So I think initially they had a hammock antenna up above this building. Huh. And then in like 47 or something like that, they put the other tower up. And of course that one went from 47 to 2004. So we're, as I mentioned to you, we're in the midst of still finishing up the other NX50 install.
You can get these ships across there in 6 days.
So here's the trusty DX50, which has got a 1992 date code on it. I opted to keep it, even though we just got this other NX50, which is going to become the main. And then we have this NX50, which has been the main for the last, I guess, 12 years or so. Predates me. But This one's getting rather long in the tooth, and it's, at some point it's going to be impossible to get parts for it. So it could become obsolete just like that. So we decided that now was the time to get something to take its place. But it's been, I should knock on wood, it's been working fine. Where we're at with this one is, of course, as you see, it's all cabled in. We're going to commission it into the dummy load. And where we're at now is basically expanding our remote control to accommodate it. Even though we use SNMP a lot for the communication, we still have basic things like, off and on, and the various presets that we actually do via wire. Because, the fact of the matter is that the SNMP stuff, if the network were to fail or whatever, and then it becomes unavailable. So we don't want to be stuck with that situation. So that's why we still do old-fashioned GPIO with it, in addition to using SNMP to monitor all kinds of other parameters. And we do the same thing with this one as well. The rack's full of stuff.
I noticed you still have some T1 stuff going through here.
Yes, and that's what the 6 gig radio is for. We're going to be getting rid of the T1 stuff. As soon as we commission the 6 gig radio and we make sure that it's working as we expect, and we're using more of the Gates Air IP100s, which actually you don't see here. They're not here yet. We're going to be using those in place of the T1s. And we send 4 channels of audio back and forth, so we needed 2 sets of them. Right now we have 2 separate T1s, and they're really expensive now. They quintupled in price in October, so which is why we're trying to get rid of them, obviously. We have the other radios. Another thing that comes down from Briarcrest is I mentioned we have the 1 RPE receiver at Pleasants Peak. We also have one at Briarcrest. So they come down here and then they turn around and go back to Burbank. So the reason we did that, and we also have our two-way, our voter is down here as well. Okay. The reason being is because we want to be able to operate this site independently from Burbank. If necessary. So that's what we did that. And we actually have an IFB transmitter that runs all the time that the traffic people use. We can actually interrupt that from here. We can actually turn on our other transmitter from here and interrupt our IFB up there and substitute the audio from here. So anyway, you see the place is a little bit of a mess still with all the various parts and tools all spread all over the place.
What you expect when you're putting something in.
So a new air conditioner, it's exciting stuff. This was not here.
Oh yeah, you had your whiteboard up there.
Yeah, as you see, we put this, we got this air dumping right into the middle. We were going to put this in the middle of the room. When you were here last time, the big 317 was probably here, right? Yeah. Okay, so we finally got rid of that thing. That was a whole.
Did it go out that door?
It did, yes.
Did you just put a dumpster down there?
No, we didn't do that. But part of the reason it took a long time and to get this one in here with the same idea was that the ground was really soft. So I remember last winter, we had a really bad winter. The ground was really wet, and we had to wait till the ground could dry out so that we could run the forklift over the ground and take the 317 out and put this one in. So we had to wait like 3 extra months for that. So this has been a long-term project. We've been working this for quite a while now.
Hi, I'm going to take a moment here and recognize the sponsor of today's video, LinkUp Communications. When your content has to get to your audience, you can count on their content distribution using XDS and other industry-leading platforms. LinkUp has provided distribution solutions with the highest degree of reliability for over 3 decades. If you're wanting more information about their services or just who are they, visit their website at linkupcommunications.com. And now, back to the video.
So I don't know if you
more finished than it was last time.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember what was in here before. We had a Mackie here before.
Okay.
And since we had a huge cache of SAS stuff that we got from San Francisco and now from Houston, we decided to put SAS in here instead. Mm-hmm. So Matt and Rich knocked this one out a while back.
And this is like a news?
The idea here, this is a news edit position. Now, another thing we're going to do when we get the 6 gig radio up and going is we're going to actually put an RCS news server down here, or our old hardware,
okay.
Which we don't have right now. So yeah, even though this is an edit position, without having access to RCS news, you can't do that much. So that's our next step, but we're waiting until we have better connectivity, which is coming soon. So.
KFI AM 640, live and on demand on the iHeartRadio app. I'm Steve Gregory. And this is
Yeah, this hasn't really changed. What you're hearing here is the Evergreen program we have running. So if for some reason we lost the building up in Burbank, we can switch this on the air directly. It's always got program on it, so we can get on. We can have something over the radio until we get down here.
Oh wow! So you're just dead rolling Evergreen.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And it's one of Steve Gregory's programs. So yeah.
So worst case, you'd be cutting out of, I don't know who's on right now. Gary and Shannon, and all of a sudden Steve Gregory's on, which he's on all the time.
Yeah, and Gary and Shannon actually have done the only show from here. We did a dry run right at the beginning of the COVID time, so in March of 2020. Actually came down here and did a show from here.
And it sounded like they were in the bathroom.
Did it? Was it that bad?
It was really echoey.
Oh, well, that's not surprising. I mean, the room is real lively.
Oh, well, I mean, I think you guys have put more stuff up.
Maybe.
Since then.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if we have or not, but the point was we could do the show, and that's part of the reason we've got so much audio going back and forth, because one of the things we did do is we're sending this pre-delay up there, and they're sending their audio pre-delay down here so that they can talk.
Right.
And so, anyway, the only thing I can really think of that's new in here is this. We added this since you were here last. Well, we added this since the last time too. So we can actually put PN on from here just like that too if we really want to. We're going to change this console out before too long. We've been replacing these with SAS.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that before too long, I think, on this one too. I mean, this console's working, but it has issues still.
So what was this room originally?
You know, I really don't know. There was a different studio in here when I first started, which we totally demolished and started over again. I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, this is the front door. Okay.
Well, you could come in that way. It used to be in the old
Front-
days you could come in
front
that
door.
way. Yeah.
It's a door that faces the street.
Yeah. It's got kind of a cool mosaic, tile mosaic. Did you see it?
I don't know. Have I? I know I've seen pictures of
Let's
it.
look at it. We redid the bathroom about 10 or 11 years ago. That's the original tile floor, but
Wow.
everything else has been replaced.
Yeah, it looks.
So yeah, I guess in the old days this could have been the front door. I like to say.
No, admit it.
Anyway, here's the mosaic I was telling you about.
Oh, that's cool.
The KFI logo on top of it.
And the Stairway of Death.
So, yeah. And we used to have our own substation out there. That's what that brick is. I mean, literally there was like a bunch of transformers and the capacitors and so forth and so on out there. And then about 9 or 10 years ago, they finally decided to replace all of it, which is when they put these big transformers in. That was a big deal because they had to pull a bunch of cables. I remember there was a conduit underground that had these big conductors in it, and they wanted to pull them out, and they could not get them. It's like they were stuck. And they had to literally start slicing the conduit open. It's like you're cleaning a fish. You know, they're like slicing it open before they finally got the conductors out. It was really a mess. But they got it, though.
So it's just empty brick.
It's just empty now, yeah.
Wow. That tile work, though, is really cool.
Oh, this has moved out a little bit now because we were doing some work down there.
Oh.
So that's all the cross connects back to the racks back behind the annex, or back by the NX50. And of course the shop, a bit of a mess right now too, but we changed all this out a while back. This is like 10 years old. We've done a lot of work here, and the whole place got painted. It used to be this weird salmon pink. It was really strange and annoying. Yeah. This all got done. The carpet's new, the walls got painted. This got painted in here, that got painted out there. So this place has gone from being just a horrible junkyard to being a place that's kind of fun to hang out. I mean, considering how old it is, it's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the famous bullet hole up there. I mean, there was supposedly a bullet hole in the ceiling, and we had a leak a while back, as you can see, and then collected, and then that hole, I guess, was the reason it leaked to begin with.
Is that an original desk?
I believe it is. Yeah, actually, that used to be out there, and we moved it. Of course, obviously, and I've been told this is an original desk. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to think of where maybe we saw a picture of it or something. I'm just trying to think of why I think it's an original.
So do you still have stuff from like back in the day, like parts and pieces that are still kind of floating around in like a thing that you guys just keep around as like tradition, or?
No, not really. We had this room over here.
Oh, there's your salmon pink paint.
This is the room with the oldest stuff, including all the old logs. This old typewriter.
That's cool.
So, yeah, I guess we do have some old stuff, which we haven't bothered to get rid of.
Tower lights. Some bulbs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Old logs.
Yeah. By the way, the December 7th, 1941 log is missing. So I don't know whatever happened to that, but it's not here.
Somebody has it.
Yeah.
So I noticed this last time I was here. There is a tower lights switch.
Yeah,
Is that really somebody at night would go?
No, I don't think so. That's a good question. For all I know, it could have worked that way back 50 years ago. I don't know. This site was manned for a long time. I don't know when they finally decided it didn't need to be manned anymore, but I'm guessing probably back in the 70s.
So this is your dummy load for...
This is our normal dummy load. This is the one we're just going to use for commissioning this transmitter, bring it up and set its presets and get remote control working, and that way we'll know it's 100% ready to go. And then we'll have to pick a time to come down here, and then we'll have to do a transmission line swap, basically. I'll show you how we're doing this. So right now the DX is the aux transmitter. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically run it through this switch and then back out, and then the other NX50 is going to come in at the other port. This is just a 3-port switch.
Okay. Yeah.
And at that point we'll swap the main, which is this, with this essentially, although it's going to come from here instead.
Okay.
And that'll be it. That one, the new NX will become the main, and then the old NX and this one will alternate as the backup.
Okay.
Either one could be used. Now, since we're using a 3-port switch, you might go, well, gee, what's going to happen when the one isn't connected? Well, we're just going to use the external interlock to prevent the one that's not picked from being able to come on. So.
And everything comes in here.
Yeah, inside this huge box is a bunch of big open frame relays that are used to switch the transmitters and so forth, and it's kind of scary. We had it open just a couple weeks ago. We just did a FEMA test. We just tested the FEMA transmitter about a week ago. Yeah, in fact, it was a week ago.
Got that cable?
Yeah.
Nice.
So we had to open this up. We had to take KFI off the air for a little bit, and then we had to connect the jumper, which is one of these guys up here, and then hit the FEMA transmitter, and it comes right on and loves the antenna. And
so it goes from here down underground.
Right. Yes.
All the way out.
Yeah. And of course out to this guy, or all the way out to that guy. I'll show you one more thing. Remember I was describing our stuff that goes up to Pleasants Peak. This is the duplexer. So, you know, we got the receiver and transmitter obviously both connected up to it. And we also have a 900 megahertz ISM radio that goes up there as well.
Okay.
So we actually do have a network connection up there. It runs over this little radio, and it's been working for years. It's amazing that it never crapped out, or it just keeps going. So it's a Rocket M900, and it's just been running for like 10 years now.
Wow. That's impressive.
I know. I was just
Ubiquity
thinking about
stuff running for that long?
That is. It's like, don't touch it. Whatever you do.
Don't look at it.
Don't look at it too hard. Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, here's
30
that,
something.
here's the weird old color I was talking about.
Well, you could tell like down here was not as pretty as upstairs.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, the brickwork is just kind of quick and very utility.
Yeah, there's a big door right here. Let's see. Yeah. Now, why was this door here? There was like a high voltage vault or something in here. I'm not
California
exactly sure.
Fireproof Door Corporation.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the idea was. Part of the old 317 power supply was down here too. You
Oh.
see how much copper is going out
Wow.
into the ground, I presume.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Some big air handler here.
yep.
Wow. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's become kind of a junkyard, unfortunately, too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, why did we keep this? You know, we have a bunch of antennas sitting around. It's like, well, why are we keeping them? Well, it's hard to get rid of. Well, yeah, sure.
Never know when you might need it.
Yeah, I never know when you might need it. Well,
Thanks for joining me on this tour of KFI in Los Angeles, a very historic station, as I said at the beginning. So, if you enjoyed this video, I have other transmitter site tours, which you can find over here. And if you just want to know more about becoming a broadcast engineer, I might have some links down in the description. And watch some of the other videos here on this channel. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning.